guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video isn't really a tutorial. I was just curious to see if the braidless method would work for these straight crochet braids. So I just decided to take you guys along for the ride and record it. So for this, I'm using an old crochet U-part wig that I made a while ago and I haven't used for some time now. This is the Cuban twist hair that I previously straightened and curled. If you haven't seen some of my previous videos where I show you how I made this wig and styled it, I'll make sure to leave it in the description box. So here you just see me re-straightening this U-part wig just so that it looks a little decent before I begin attempting the braidless invisible part. For this, I'm using the Revlon one-step blow dryer brush. As you can see, this hair can go back and forth between the straight look and the curly look. Now that it's fall, I'm ready to do some more crochet styles. I've been thinking about bringing back some of the crochet wigs that I did earlier this year. And I also have a few new ideas of what I want to create with the traditional crochet braids and also more wig styles. Let me know down in the comments what crochet styles you will want to see from me. So at this point, I have already begun installing some of the hair. Here I'm just taking one strand of the Cuban twist hair and I'm dividing it into 4 pieces. These are the number of sections I usually do when I'm installing this hair, but it also depends on how large the section is and where I'm installing the hair. So sometimes the sections are smaller. Usually smaller pieces I use closer to the part and larger pieces I use away from the part. So I'm just using the latch hook to attach the hair. There really wasn't any particular method I used to install it, but I did it the same way I would usually install an invisible part. I'm using small pieces and I'm using the invisible part method where you pull one piece of the crochet hair through the loop. I did this so that the hair could be as flat as possible. I think with this method, the smaller sections that you use to install, the flatter the part would lay. So you're just going to see me continue to add hair where I see that there may be a gap or missing spaces until it starts to look more realistic. So I don't know if you guys can see this clearly, but in some areas, the way the hair is crocheted in, it created a few gaps. So in this clip, I'm just attempting to close some of these openings as I go. Again, I just decided to try this randomly and was just improvising as I went along. So I'm just continuing to add more hair and trying to fill in those gaps that you see. So at this point, I feel like the part was starting to look a little more natural. The reason I even thought of this method initially is because 1, I hate braiding my hair, and 2, I sometimes feel like the invisible part with the braids in the front doesn't lay as flat as I would want it to. I think it's fine when it comes to curly styles, but when I do this straight crochet method, I want it to look as natural as possible. So I'm always thinking of ways to make the style look even more natural. So for the sections closest to the part, I try to add even smaller pieces of hair just to make sure that the hair laid as flat as possible. So here are just a few close-up shots of what the hair looks like at this point. So this was really just an experiment, so I'm not going to do the entire part. I just wanted to get an idea of what it looked like. So here you see me start the process of getting the Cuban hair straightened out. I'm starting off with a regular blow dryer on high heat and high speed just to try to smooth the hair out. To see this process in more detail, make sure you check out my other videos. Next, I'm taking the Revlon one-step blow dryer brush to further straighten the hair. I went back and forth between using the high heat setting and the low setting. I know that some of you mentioned that you tried this style and the hair burnt, so you want to make sure that there's not too much heat on the hair at once. You can start on the low setting as you try to get the tangles out and then change to the high setting at the end to get the sleekness. You also want to do this part in small sections to get the best results, and make sure that you get the top of the hair as well. So just continue to use the blow dryer brush in small sections until you get all of the tangles out and the hair is completely straight and smooth. So here is a close-up on what the hair looks like once I'm finished. Now to my thoughts on this method. Would I style my part this way going forward? Probably not. I think it looks pretty natural, but I think the effort it takes is probably not worth it. I think I would still use braids as my base, but maybe instead of making the braids super close, I could incorporate some of this method near the part, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, guys, I just thought of this randomly and decided to record it for you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think and if you would try this method.